Hello. Hi there. Chat test. Okay, chat is working. So we're getting into it. And we're starting with just setting up some music. Going for some video music today. That's too loud though. Okay. So today we have a wonderful, interesting task, and that is about email, which I want to open. And I'm not sure if there's nothing private in here, so I think that is okay. So here's an email, and I will roughly translate it into English. It's hi Jonas, thank you very much for for publishing that great asset. That really is helping me a lot with my work. I'm currently working on a small private project for the wedding of a gamer friend, and the time is and I don't have much time. Logically, it is a split screen project. It will be 2 players, and he did come with something in the class of the parallax vect transform generator. In these classes here are 4 instances where the main cam is referenced, even though he wants to pass another cam, yeah. And here's the line, yeah. And here's the fix that he came up with. So in this case, we don't want to reference the camera main, but we want to work with the reference that we get from the background manager. So we have to get the background manager somehow. And then so he said that seems to solve the problem, and I replied to him that I thank him very much for his great comment, and that when giving the reference to the cam, it shouldn't reference to the main cam. I'm summarizing a little bit, and I still need to test with the split screen, but I want to pick this up as a task. And he said, he replied, thanks for the reply, and he did find the cam with this call here. I think he needed background manager. So we are looking into this because something's fishy here. Yeah, something's fishy. I think he's not doing the call like it would be good, because in a good way, because he's going this transform root game object, and that is a little bit problematic with it because it's not that dynamic, and that's why I wanted to look into the asset that he's talking about and try to make that fix. Yeah. So an odd start today, but yeah. So here we have the update check. Okay, get the last version for the Unity assets.tools. Get it? Okay. Oh, update, yeah, we already have it and we want to update. Already clicked on update, going to click again. Okay. Yeah, here something is happening. It's a little bit weird. I thought I would get a feedback, but it's just a click of a button. Oh, now I can import it, which overrides some scripts. We didn't do anything in the script, so I hope it just works on the fly, and we don't have to fix anything. Looks like the tests failed, so we probably have to reopen the project. Now that would be really annoying if it not has a bug since. Oh shit! Has a bug because of the because we did an update. Yeah, that's the first kind of bug that you can have. You make an update just to get going, and yeah, shit. Okay, so we are going to reinstall the package, the asset. It's a little bit disgusting, to be honest.
How's it going, John?
Hi, I'm currently working on an email. So this is an asset of mine, and somebody was using this asset, and here's the email, but it's in German, so I started with translating that. And he had a problem in this asset with 2 cams. He makes a split screen game, and he was talking about that the cam is referenced in this line of code, and I'm trying to look into that. And the first thing that I did is I just had an update of the asset store tools, and the first thing is now I've got to solve some updating errors, probably just removing and installing the asset store tools again. But yeah, it's I think it's a little bit annoying when you just want to click on update and hope that everything solves itself, and then I'm stuck in trying to update my project. So I'm trying to import it again and just hope that it works. And it just froze an error. Okay, I'm just going to reopen the project again. Hope that it doesn't come up. So I'm not working on the actual problem. I'm just trying to open my project with an updated with updates. Okay, now it works. Okay, that was not ideal. Yo. This isn't the inspector. It shouldn't be in this class. He actually specified the class, so I'm trying to get the classes. So it should be in these 3 classes. And we can see that we have, I'm not sure if we have camera referencer. No, we don't really have that. Yeah, here's the cam ref, and that is there's a problem where it just looks at the main cam in the scene, and that's not a good way to do it. For the cam ref, we don't want to do it like this. Just say cam ref is a transform, and then we should get some errors. Let's look if we have any problem over here. Yeah, we have some problem. Okay, it looks into some specific values of the cam, so I can still make this a serialized field. So it needs really a cam. Okay. And if the user does not plug anything in, then we get the main cam, just in case. And here we now have to see if we can instead reference the cam in the background manager so that they both use the same value. It would make it harder to break. I think it would be nice to have this at the top. Because it's a very, very common thing. The referenced camera on this background manager. So the goal is to first make a small update over here. It won't be a big update. I want to make a small update over here, and that would make it possible for him to to get a better code. And there's an error in the packages. Interesting. Oh, everything is bugged. Okay. That doesn't seem to be true. Okay, let's see if we can see the camera. Yes, can. So that is over here. Really nice. Let's get ahead and see the third class. This generator class. It also has this camera variable. In this case, it would be okay if I would use the variable even more to make a custom getter for the cam, just to have a shorter name over here. But I think that I don't even know if that's a thing in clean code. It's just a personal preference. And sometimes if I know I'm going to use a variable a lot, it is just a reference that I use some public getter and setter to get a shorter name and not have to get the variable with class dot variable and sometimes dot something. Yeah, but did this fix? Now let's try it out. And what I expect is that some error is going to pop up, but it just references to the camera and works out of the box. So that's really nice. We can actually see that the camera here, that gets assigned at default. So that's really nice. And everything else, we just made some reference changes, so nothing special over here. So now we go and we'll upload it to the Unity Asset Store. For that I have to look a little bit where the correct window is, which I kind of forgot. But it's here somewhere. There's a window where you can upload your asset to the Unity Asset Store. And I've already done this with this asset. So what I want to do now is to update the asset. That would be really nice. So there it is installed. Okay. Just wanted to check. I thought it's under general. But I don't find it. Oh, it's under tools. Okay, sometimes, yeah. I think Unity actually specifies that if you don't feel like that your asset should be under window, it should be under tools. But I think it was under window before, so I didn't find it. So that changed. Probably not. I don't know. Okay, now I have to log in. Okay, that was saved up somewhere. And this is the Parallax Scroller tool. I have to go into Unity now and say I want to make a new release. I'm not 100% sure if the stream is legal now. Could be that I'm illegally showing that, but it shouldn't. I'm actually not showing something that is user data. I don't think it matters that much.
Cool, that was quick.
I still have to upload it. So you're creating a new draft. That's now I say what is the new version feature, and I say allow mirror reference to be assigned via the background manager. Yeah, that's pretty much on point. And save that up. Now here in the Asset Store Uploader, we should be able to see that we can upload something. But it's not the case yet, I'm sure. Cannot submit. Package upload. So this is not the first time I do an update, but you now have to do something so that it shows up in the list in this window. I'm not sure if the window just doesn't work anymore. You have to refresh it or manually? No. Refresh. Ah, okay. You have to press a button. Okay, that wasn't the problem. And I had to refresh the list. Okay. Was just the button is pretty hard to miss. Probably should put that in the middle. Somewhere at the top would be nice. As a bigger button. I think over here it's easy to just think it's a symbol. So now we have to say what folder to include. That is actually this folder over here. And we can now validate if there's issues. Now Unity does the following. It goes through your data and cannot run test check package size. Test script class was not found. Okay, this is an internal error. It's not nice to have that. I think that was on validate. Let's look that up again. Yeah. Okay. It's actually pretty bad. But just looks like a Unity error. You want to click validate and not have any bugs in the console. So it says no issues were found. So it did test everything, but did throw in errors. So I'm not sure if that is a Unity bug. The changes that we did. Okay, everybody will say it. The changes that we did will not throw an error, but are unlikely to throw an error. So we can actually export it.
You should check it out, I think. Users won't like errors.
Oh no! It's not an error in the my scripts. This is the validator, and it says it doesn't find a test script class. So inside of the validator is an error where the validator, which is not part of the package, that's only in the asset store uploader. There's an error. So this is definitely just in the Unity engine, yeah. Not in the Unity engine, but in this asset to upload. So this isn't
on in the uploader.
Yeah, this is the uploader that has an error, and it goes through the whole package of mine and says no issues were found. So we can actually view the test that it did run through, and we can find one undefined test. I think this is the test that did not pass. Should not be more than 6 gigabytes in size. So I'm pretty sure that the whole project is not 6 gigabytes. So we can manually confirm it, yeah, just to be sure. Now I know from the logic already that yeah, okay, this is not even 1 gigabyte. Now let's look at the whole project. But yeah, even the whole project, yeah, which is not what you export, is that big. So this is definitely some kind of failed test. It says it can't find its own class. But yeah, still something that can be an issue, yeah, if there's an important check. But what this validator does is it goes through, it looks up, is there a documentation? It actually looks into your files and looks if there's a documentation. Like here, there's a PDF file with the documentation of this asset. Yeah. Now, I actually think that the better documentation is actually on the media side. I have a link to a video guide over here in the asset store, and that video guide is pretty much what I think most people should use, and it's a pretty good tutorial too. You just go through here. This is basically the tutorial, and it's 12 minutes long. This is and it tells you everything that is inside of that asset, and that's something I would try to cut it down to a little bit less if I can, but in this instance I was pretty happy.
Good.
yeah. The thing is that people said that the tutorial helped them a lot and is very good. And that is just by going through it, if I maximize this maybe. Into the repeating centers point field. In this case, we want to start with the sky. Now we want to set the repetition type of the image. Click on Preview Bordering Rect Transforms. As you can see, the image will repeat itself to the left and right. This will be done indefinitely. Let's check how it looks. So there's also some cuts. Most cuts in the tutorials are hidden, but over here, so for example, there's also some diagrams. It's not the best, but it's pretty. You can follow the guide step by step, and I really work with the script where I write down everything that I want, and then I usually take a nap or go to bed, go to sleep, and I insist that I read the script again 2 times after a break, so that the next time I go in there and then I try to cut everything out that is too long and try to get everything on point as much as possible, because I don't want these 1 hour long video guides that you see in a lot of assets, even in the Unity publisher portal, and that turns people off. And I think it's fine if a developer says he doesn't have the time or skills to do a finer video guide, but I think it improves the quality very much and is as important as making the asset itself, because you want people to have a good time with your asset, or I want to have that. There's also assets where people just develop something and throw it out and say, hey, I used this and it's useful, and this is going to developers so they can figure it out. Yeah. Okay, we are going to upload the asset now. So what you can see here is this is the actual asset, yeah, and Unity package. It's created it very fast because there's nothing in here but the pictures that you see, and that's it. Yeah, that's and the pictures are HD pictures, 1920 by 1080. So it's a really very small asset, and it's done. Yeah, done. So we should now be able to see that the package uploader, if we refresh it, has done something today. And it says April the 25th. Yeah. So this is, I will make a last check. Do we have to change anything? I don't think so. Works with Unity 2130 F1 or higher. We didn't change anything on that, so it should be fine. Yeah, then we can submit it. And they still have to approve it. Yeah. I don't have any information. Everything is in the release notes. It's a really small code update, so they review it like in Git. Yeah, and now I can I already get a response. Yeah, they will still look over it, so I think there's just a guy who will look over it and then probably get a merge request and is it already approved? No, it's pending, yeah. And then click on a button where it says, okay, I checked, it's not a virus, yeah. Okay, so we did an update, so I can write to the guy who messaged me that I updated the code, but it is still in the Unity review. Just have to find the email again. So there it is. So we're going to say we want to reply. I'm going to do this in German because he texted me in German, so I'm going to do this in German. Oh, I'm just going to tell him what the best way is to reference the cam, because I think the way he did it was not that good. Um, every class is going to point to this variable. So I'm wondering a little bit why he tries to get the background manager with find first object by type. Because there's I have to look something up. Oh yeah, get component in parent. Yeah, okay, that's going to work every time. The background manager is actually giving itself to the scroller as in the init function. Could do this maybe a little bit nicer, but it works. So now I just have to kind of attach the files. So that he gets the updated code immediately. Okay. Mhm. So I tell him what I did to have the serialized field in background manager. So I can reference, so the user each user can define the cam by himself, and the classes reference the other classes now reference this variable instead to look for their own variable. And then I tell him the code is not in the asset store yet. It's not approved yet, so I'm sending him the updated code. Okay, so that's an answer over there. Okay, so we can close this project again and work on the brush forger again. And I got to say something. Brush forger, because I did off-stream work on this. So we have to go over the to-do list. But I'll be heading to the bathroom real quick. So BRB. Okay, back at it again. So I did the off-stream work on the inspector class of the prefab brush, and I did go over this with the AI and ask it how the method could be refactored, and I was not too happy with the result because the AI did something that looked similar to this, where I can just have the root container and then just add fields. And I think that is really nice if you can do it. But in this case, we have a field and then we customize the fields inside of them. And these fields, unfortunately, have a lot of cross references and custom functions. So it says it used a factory pattern, and I was really not happy with that, because would then go and say create toggle, and then it goes in here and uses the toggle class, and I think that was it. It would then use the toggle class and bind a property. Yeah, that would work for this toggle and use the same method for every toggle. But the other toggles have some customized callbacks, and I don't know. They are all a little bit different here. So I can't. I was like, okay, we already called the toggle class, where you set the tooltip in the label. Can you bind the property in this field? Binding. Oh, I could actually do the binding in this field. Oh, or not. Okay, I'm not sure how that works. Okay, I think it's not designed to do that. Yeah. Okay. So it would think use these three methods and just cut the custom callbacks, and the callbacks are already really short, so it doesn't make sense to make something like this into a new method. I actually like that I can just create them inside of this brackets. So I was not really happy with the AI. Also just refactored out this function. And what this function does is if you click this, you see that some yields pop up and disappear. And the AI just did cut that feature for some reason. Now that is not a big problem. I could have just added that in again. But because of that, I have some we custom things in here. Like there's also a padding underneath this field. I think there's a padding under this field over here, and that's something where I was like, when it looked like this in the AI, and looked that it just cut a lot of features, and I was like, yeah, that's going to be a pain to get it in. So I was like, no, just going to create a method then for each field. And this way I can read this instead of having to read all of this. Yeah. But I didn't consider it to be worthy to give the label and the tooltip as a parameter and make that a function. If I, for example, make a toggle multiple times, then for the foldout, for example, I only make one foldout, so that the kind of defeated the purpose of clean code. It was over a side. That's where I just have a different taste. I have a think this is nice to read. Okay. So if if people don't like that, I think they can just tell me what. I think this is absolutely okay. We could also ask the AI now, but let's not get too nitpicky and get going. Because I think we can just call it a day with this task. So we are through with the whole base structure now. Yeah. So the whole thing is done. And now we get to sampling. I want to have a second brush example and a second mapping example. So why do I want this? Currently, there are examples over here, and these examples don't do anything. These are just there so I can look up what is happening in the list. They are just there for testing reasons, but they don't actually function. So I just created some classes for testing. Yeah. So it would be odd if the user would get this brush forger and the default brush forger comes only with one mapping, but has a drop down over here. That would be kind of, you would get like, okay, there's a drop down. There's things, but there's only one thing in the list. That's a little bit odd. And the same thing goes for the brush. That's why I want to create a brush variation. Both will be in the sample folder as sub variations. No, I think the mapping is not going to be a sample. I think the mapping that I want to do it's a very, very easy algorithm, but I want to do a second option for the prefab where you just go in and say I want to create the assets from the CAM perspective on. So this makes sense if you work in this area over here, and then you would just take the CAM. CAM is a plane, a view plane. Yeah, it's actually it's not a cone, it's a frustum. And in this frustum, you can take the screen is this plane, and then you can take the direction from that and say, okay, I want to get into that direction and have that as the brush position and create my objects there. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's helpful if you want to draw prefabs just into thin air. You can do it with that function. Yeah. Then you can also give an option to offset the position, so you can determine how far away it is from the cam. This would be 0, so directly on the cam screen, and then you can give it a value to shift it from and to the cam, and then instantiate your objects just behind the cam. So that shouldn't be too hard, because it's very, very similar to what we already have, except that the plane over here creates a plane. We're going to do the same, but the plane over here is created on a target, and with through the cam, we are going to create a plane behind the camera. Yeah. So actually, oh. I have to look something up. Can we do that already? No. Oh, no, we can't. Okay, because the main cam over here is not the cam. It's not the cam that the scene view uses. Actually, the only thing that we would have to do is get the cam as a target. No, we don't want that. We don't want the cam as a target. Because then we want to...
I have 3 all-day meetings next week, Monday to Wednesday. I'm gonna fall asleep in all of them, I think.
Oh.
I'm not good with long meetings.
I'm too. So my main thing is I always need to participate, and I think it is bad to have people not participate in long meeting, so that everybody contributes. But if it's a meeting where you're, I don't know, people are talking about their topics, and sometimes I mean, I'm also a software engineer. Sometimes somebody is talking about his framework, and I just have to nod and look like I understand things, so that the other people don't think I'm not an engineer, but I have no idea what the guy is talking about. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be that kind of meeting. What kind of meeting? What
it's gonna
kind?
be product planning.
Product planning. Yeah. Is it going to is it going to be together with other engineers and maybe the product lady and another person? Maybe.
I think I'm gonna be the only engineer.
Oh, what are the other
Cause they want to
roles?
expand my team.
Mm-hmm. So what are the other roles? Maybe the owner? Is the product owner?
Just people who work with clients and product people.
Ah, work with clients. So yeah, so I know that this can be marketing department or personal. Human resources department, yeah. So, but I get it if you're the only engineer, but if it's a planning meeting, shouldn't you be the guy who's doing all the planning then? Because
They have to figure out what product they want.
Yeah, it sounds like you will have to push them a little bit to the right conclusions. Yeah. I I actually not the biggest fan of having the client decide on too many things on the product. I like if the product is a result of the tools and resources that you have. But if you would do that, then nobody except engineers would do software, and that of course can't go. I actually, yeah, it's kind of an issue always. Um, they don't know what they actually want. Um, I no, I have also no idea what kind of features you already have and what they want to add or change. But yeah, I can just say I'm very sorry for you that if that's the case. I hope that that you can contribute a lot to the meeting and that you can get everybody on board, and that would be great. It's my honest opinion.
I hope they have Kofi and a urinal in the room. Are you a big coffee drinker? Yeah. I used to work with the coffee machine in the office, and I would always overdo it with the coffee. Yeah, I would just I
go
drink a
every
lot of
hour.
tea, not Kofi too often.
Yeah. So I also I'm happy in my home office that I don't have a coffee machine, because I know that it's not that good for me because I always overdo it. I don't know. It's like with alcohol or weed. I always take the strongest one and overdo it. Yeah, that's why I know. Why I don't drink and smoke anymore, and don't have coffee in my home. Yeah. But if I have coffee, I basically drink every hour one cup of coffee, and after that, it's actually amazing. There's a study that people work faster when they have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, maybe it has also a very positive effect. Yeah, maybe that also works for your meeting, that you're going to push a little bit harder.
Haha, be back later, gotta meet with my manager.
Okay, have
I
fun.
better not fall asleep on video.
Good luck. I've got an interesting case here where I think that it's really good that I made this sample, because I have this brush normal, but I don't have the hit rotation, and these things, they sound like you only need one to work with. But hit rotation is supposed to be if you hit something your way, then the rotation is the rotation of this thing, so that something on it is going to be, if you spawn a pen on it, you can see I can rotate it, and if I rotate this also has to rotate. So I have to know the rotation of this thing that I hit over here, so that I can then decide what to do with the pen. Yeah, and I currently only have the normal of the brush. And I'm not sure if that's enough to work with. And I'm also not sure if I really have the brush normal, because it's a quaternion now, which is a rotation. So I get the brush normal as a rotation, which is odd, yeah, to say at least. So I have to look that up, because the normal is normally the brush in which, if the brush is normally a plane, yeah, and would get the plane of the brush, and then everything on it has a different rotation. And they are not the same, and you want to define both. Yeah, it's a little bit mind-blowing until you think about it. See over here, target rotation gets saved as brush rotation. I think I have to change the definition of that function actually. Yeah, so let's do it. Let's just do it, because I'm not sure why it made. And then we have to make sure that the old function, the plain function, that still works as it should be, and that should be enough for today. I'm not sure if I can make this function work. I got some progress now. You can see the brush radius, where I actually want to display the objects, but now I have problems with the parameters for the objects. Yeah, that's why I'm a little bit like, something's not working. Like all the objects. I'm not sure how the objects are drawn in the. That rotation seems to be weird. Like over here. There's something something is wrong. Yeah, that's what I can say for sure. But it has to do with the normal. But I wanted to extend the parameter list. You have to say I also want to have the brush normal. Let's see if it is still working normally. So everything should be the same as before. Yeah, there it goes. So I don't see a problem over here. Yeah, we're not going to change anything over there, but now we're trying to work with the parameters that we now inherit. Inherit? Get. Yeah, get. So we now have this current brush normal. Oh, brush tool, we have to change that. We also get the current brush normal is the current brush current orientation, and that's not the normal. That's the thing. Now we have to kind of find where we find the original. Should be brush to world mapping. There we go. did mess with our example functions. Because now we have to correct the parameter list, but that's not an issue. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I think we're done here. So at least with the algorithm. So we just need to work on the inspector. I don't want the compatible brushes in there. So I want to work on that. And then we have this as an example and this. So you can see what it does. So it just paints wherever you have the cam. I think it goes around the cam. Yeah, so and that's something that I... Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, so I think we need another variable. Currently, it's think this point where the scene view is, and this is then the brush plane. So this tool would be kind of... I think you don't want this. I think this is not what we want. You would want the I think we need the target position and rotation. We need the cam. The cam normal for that. I don't see that we have anything that gives us gives us that. So we're going to change the definition of that. Okay. So that's something that's not good, because it means there's something that we didn't think of. But the good thing is, at least we make sure that we get all the variables that you could need. Now you won't need every variable in every algorithm, but another thing. I could probably make some overrides, because the parameter game list gets too long. It's actually not that nice. Origin normal. Let's put that behind the origin. Makes it easier to explain in the documentation, so you really know, okay, this is the origin and this is the normal. Normally this would be normally this would be, I think there's things that you can do to get a cleaner parameter list. Put them in a struct, introduce a tuple. There's a lot of things. You can do about that. Actually, let's delete those. No, but we're going to delete them later. Because they have their use. Let's just copy that whole method. because that actually doesn't matter. These functions are not used anyway. Okay. So let's see if that immediately destroys the algorithm. Oh no, that looks good. And as you can see now, the only issue I see here is that we're getting closer to the cam from this point. So we want to stay parallel. We want to stay parallel. And currently it's sphere. A sphere. Sphere. So if we do that, it should be finished. Currently, this is usable. It's better, yeah. But if I use it, let's use it and see if you can detect the problem. You can kind of see that the objects are not in one plane. Yeah? We want to work on that. And we want to currently, if we do it like this, we can, it's a little bit hard to see, but these are not in one plane. We want to have everything in one plane when you draw. So we have to change the hit point algorithm, and then we are finished. Try to get the origin normal. Bit of the direction. That one is forward. Let's just try what happens. Could work. Not sure. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad. So what it does is it actually shifts as much as I shift left and right. If I put it to 0 here, you can see that it shifts pixel perfect. Now we have to make that it matches where I have the mouse cursor. Okay. So we then have to shift it left and right to the point where the direction possible. Oh, that's super complicated, by the way. I think though we have everything that we have in here, because this constructs a plane. This constructs a plane and hits that plane. And if we construct this plane, currently we have this plane, this is on a plane, and see if we hit where we hit the plane with the mouse, and we are always going to hit the plane, then we have the complete algorithm. That would be awesome. So I'm going to just copy paste everything over to the other algorithm, and then can start to work. Let's just try it out. That's a little bit cheap what I do here. That's better. Something's off. Okay. When everything is on a plane, but I'm messing up with the offset. That's interesting. Really interesting, to be honest. Okay. Let's try the offset as the Y value. I'm not positive that this will work though. No, that's not it. That's not it. It's not going to be X either, but you know, let's just try it out. See what T is. Can we do this? No, I don't think that would work. Oh, that actually worked. Yeah, that's nice. I think we still have to disallow values smaller than 0, because then you would draw behind the cam, and I'm not sure if that would make sense. So let's draw. We should be drawing behind our back right now. Let's look at that. Okay. So we can see that they are all in one plane, which is really, really cool. So why would you use something like this? This is a brush for if you just want to draw in 3D space and you don't want to specify anything. You just want to draw in over here and put stuff into your world. Then you have this as an option to put in your object. You can then change your object properties to whatever you need. Yeah, but at default, you have something. Yeah, probably you could specify more things, like that the object rotation is always upwards. But that's something that the user has to know. Actually, we can do this next time. Yeah. But I'm very happy with the progress. So let's go over the task list and see. We have the second mapping with the camera. That one was actually a hard task, with a lot of necessary changes. But I think the result is quite nice. This is actually something that you could use in real development. I just think you have to specify the target rotation a bit more. It would be nice to be able to specify that the target rotation is not the same as the camera rotation. Yeah, that would be nice. So in that case, you could then say, okay, I want to place this object into the world, but I don't want them to, if I draw like this, I want them to always point upwards. Because if you draw in a glass, in nearly every case you want the glass to be pointing upwards. Your stone objects, whenever you have the most offsets, you paint them into your world and you want to specify that they're pointing at a certain direction. Yeah. So maybe you could lock an axis. Yeah. But we will look into that next time to make this more practical, to say, okay, we have, this is the plane that we want to draw something, or we have with a house. Let's draw a house. That's cool. Let's just draw a house. And this is our house with 4 walls. And if we now place something inside, yeah, we want the things inside of the house not to be at a random rotation. Probably want to specify more. Now the algorithm is quite easy to change. The lines of code are not that much, and you have a lot of parameters, so you should be able to do anything with that. However, really, geometry is not something that everybody should and wants to mess with, because you have to really be on top of the game. I'm not on top of the game with 3D graphics and 3D space math, which is pretty hard. unless you're like me and you're just looking up the formula and then work with that. Okay. One more thing. I want to work on the documentation real quick. To camera. Map way to a plane behind the scene camera. Okay, yeah, I think that's good description. Let me just check if the description here was changed. No. Okay, looks all right. We still have a warning. Let's look into that. Yeah, that statement is. I think that the whole rotation. We still have to code clean up. Oopsie. It was actually used. Okay, let's try that out. That breaks anything. No. Okay, that's nice. Okay. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time. Today we're not finished with the task completely, but pretty far. As I say, I want to customize the rotation inside of the scene. Maybe I'm not sure what I want to do. That's why I end this stream, so I can sleep over the issue and then decide on what to do. See you back next time and have a nice day.
best. To train them is my cause. I will travel